So another month has ended, and here we are again trying to see what I have read for a specific month. So we are doing my February wrap-up. It's probably the middle of March almost already, but you know how it is. I cannot post my wrap-ups in the end of each month because I'm always trying to finish that little book that I want to add to the counting of the thing. So yeah, let's get into it. So, first of all, I have not read that much, but I have read a great amount, I think. Hello, beautiful bookworms! My name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing, as I said, my February wrap-up. So, I have read one manga, one short story collection, sort of, one hardcover book, one comic issue, and 6 trades of comics, which are bigger volumes. So, without further ado, let's just get into it and tell you what I've read this month. So, the first manga, or the only manga actually, that I've read this month, you already know that I did, because at the time that I'm filming this, I'm also filming a review for it, and it is probably already up, and that is what? And that is No Longer Human by Junji Ito. So the original story is by Osamu Dazai and it was a novel, and Junji Ito decided to pick it up and adapt it. Of course, this is, in Junji Ito's style, very creepy, very gory, very unsettling, but for me it was hard-hitting than any of his novels that I've ever read, any of his mangas, because normally his mangas are just horror stories, which by themselves and by definition make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but not for me as a horror genre aficionada, not to the point where I actually feel completely sick to my stomach. Whilst reading this manga, which is something that you probably already heard if you've seen my review of this manga, which I'm going to leave the cards down below up for that. But whilst reading this, I had to do a lot of stops. I couldn't read a lot on the same day because the main character of this has social anxiety. And as someone that has generalized anxiety disorder, it was portrayed in a way, in such a visual, psychological kind of way, that it was, and I don't use this term lightly, it was actually triggering my anxiety. So I wasn't able to, because a lot of the thoughts of the character by itself were triggering for me because they were thoughts that I have a lot of time. And so I was just not feeling great while reading this, and I don't want to make myself sick. So I was just progressively reading this. But it's one of the best Junji Ito's I've ever read. Of course, the original material is not by him, but the way that he adapts everything into manga is just phenomenal, marvelous, and I absolutely love this. So if you don't have triggers with anxiety or blood or drug abuse or sexual abuse or, so many. If you want to know the triggers for this, it's best if you DM me somewhere. I can tell all of them without spoiling this, but it's a strong one. But if you don't have any triggers or any problems, or you can deal with them slowly, like I did, I would so much advise this because I absolutely loved it. So after that, I'm just going to talk about the comic issue that I read, which was Ruby issue 4. And as you probably know, I am following the comic issues that are coming out every month for Ruby. I already told you what Ruby is. It's sort of this magical girls gone huntresses into this sort of political scheme of the world, and they have to defeat the creatures of Green that are created by this person. And yeah, good, evil, friendship, power, and a lot of fun. I like it, although I do feel like if you watch the animation for Ruby, you have a lot more to get into with these comics than just reading the comics by themselves, but you can also do that if you want. Nothing else to say, I really, really enjoy it, and I do like that I'm reading one of these each month. It's fun. Then, as you know, because I already did sort of a book versus TV series sort of review for these, I have read the 6 volumes of the Lock and Key comics by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. And spoilers for my review, which I will leave also linked, but this was a reread. I have read this and I reread this in preparation for the Lock and Key TV show. Spoilers, I prefer the comics. Because, I mean, not because I am that person that the book is always better than the movie, but in this fucking case, I mean, they had such a great base material, and I expected more from the TV show, to be very completely honest, but I didn't mind the TV show that much. It was interesting, it was nice, it was fun, but these are amazing, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this. This is basically about this family, these 3 kids and a mom. After their dad dies in very sad circumstances, they move into his prior house, which is called Key House. And yeah, they start to find these keys that have some strange powers, depending on the doors they open. And there is something dark after them, and they have to figure out what that person wants. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say, because I do recommend you to read this. It's only 6 volumes of the thing, and it's completed, and it's amazing, and it's dark and family-based and great, and there's magical keys, so what else can you want? If you have any more doubts, I can assure you that my review for Lock and Key is completely spoiler-free, so you can just go and watch that. If you want to know more about if you should or not read the comics, but spoilers, yes, you should. You definitely should. So, now for the short story collection. It is a real short story collection, which is pretty fun. But I read Magnus Chase 9 from the 9 Worlds by Rick Riordan, and this is basically an amount of stories. Each of the stories are based in each of the worlds of Norse mythology. And the thing that connects all of these stories, besides the characters that we already know from the Magnus Chase series, that if you don't know, Rick Riordan is a creator of the Percy Jackson series, which is about Greek mythology. Then he has the Heroes of Olympus series, which has Roman mythology, and then he has Norse mythology in the Magnus Chase series, and that series is over supposedly, but the short stories are about the characters of that series. And the thing that connects all of these is that Thor is sort of doing a run throughout the entirety of the 9 worlds, and it's not fun because Thor is not as in the Marvel movie adaptations. So yeah, it's terrifying to say the least. But if you enjoy fun short stories, which is exactly the case, and if you've read Rick Riordan's works previously and you just have read already the Magnus Chase trilogy, which you can be spoiled for stuff if you read this before that, so I would advise you to read that first. But if you enjoy the Magnus Chase trilogy, if you like Norse mythology, you can read this. It's fun, it's really, really short, and yeah, I had a great time. And the last one that I'm going to show you was the hardcover that I read this month. This one I borrowed from a friend, and he is the one that always lets me read Percy Jackson and Rick Riordan stuff, because I don't buy those for myself because I know that he has them. So it's just like, dude, where's the books? I want to read the continuation of this. So yeah, so I read The Trials of Apollo, the Tyrant's Tyrant's Tomb. Wow, it's amazed. So the Tyrant's Tomb, as I was saying. And this is what, the 4th book in the Trials of Apollo series, I do believe. This is also by Rick Riordan, of course. And if you don't know, basically, the whole premise of this series is that Apollo, the Greek god, screwed the fuck up. And so Zeus was like, well, fuck you. You are going to go to Earth, and you are going to be immortal and stripped of all of her godly powers and ugly as fuck, because I can. And you're going to be called Lester. And I'm not going to say his last name because I have difficulty saying it in Portuguese, and in English it's even worse. So I'm not going to do that. But basically, I am reading the series. Not that I don't know that Apollo is going to be fine by the end of the series, or we are hoping that's going to be the case, but he's just taking so much shit that I am just reading with that morbid sense. Do you know those people? I don't personally do that, but do you know those people that when there's a car crash, they start driving really slow to just see all of the mess going on and the chaos? That's how I'm reading this, because Apollo's journey is a car crash. I mean, I am so sorry for the dude. Jesus. And I thought that some of my favorite characters were going to die in this book. So I was very upset. And yeah, it was not fun. It was fairly aggressive, which I enjoy because I like darkish topics in middle grades because that's sort of what this is. And I like it. And there's fun, there's darkness, there is suffering, which it might be very, very weird to say, but it's sort of what I like to read for fun. I know, right? I know. I'm a terrible person, I know, but I really enjoy this. It's big. It's how many pages? 400 and something pages, but it's not that big. And if you like Rick Riordan's books, again, I think, and if you want to have some fun, because that's why I read them too. I always have fun, even though sometimes I am really, really suffering. Bear with me because I have something to say, which is, I don't know how this series is going to end, but I still prefer by Rick Riordan the Heroes of Olympus series, which is a series that has Greek and Roman mythology put together. That's my favorite one, and I do believe that that's always going to be my favorite one because I loved all of the characters, I loved all of the dynamics, and I loved the plot, and everything that went on was awesome. But this series is not bad. It was fun. And this one has zombies. So if you like zombies, I mean, there's a Roman word for them, but I really don't know. So zombies, everyone. It was really fun. And now in the back of the book, it says, where is it? It says, coming in autumn 2020, which is this year, and it says the Trials of Apollo, the Tower of Nero. And I feel like shit is gonna go down, and I want shit to go down, because can we please just get Apollo again to be a god, because he's so annoying as a mortal. Poor Apollo. Sometimes I pity him, really. Okay, so that was basically all that I read, but I decided I was going to show you something else too, because if you're on my channel, you probably want to and give a fuck about what I'm reading. So, I am currently reading something that I wanted to have wrapped up by now, but no, it's going to be in March N if I can. But I have read 436 pages of The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann, and this was a Nobel Prize winner person. And this is sort of a social criticism, which I'm not going to talk a lot about today because I'm not wrapping this up. And I am having 3 reactions to this book. First of all, it's big, but it's okay. Second of all, oh my god, I'm laughing so hard. Third of all, I am really genuinely upset about some of the things that are here written, and our society is shit. So yeah, I'm loving the experience, but because I get upset, or because I think some stuff is funny, or because it's just really, really small alphabetic words, I'm taking my time with this. So this is probably going to be in my March wrap-up, I hope, I pray, because I'm already half of the book into, and I'm really enjoying it, actually. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm not enjoying this, because I am. But it has so many emotions in me, you know? It's so many. I get genuinely crazed when I read this. It's just, okay. So I just wanted to tell you that I'm currently reading that. And yeah, let's see if with reading that monster, I have time to read anything else that month. We will see when we get to March, which I'm pre-filming this, so we're probably already in March, but who the fuck cares? I mean, time is a construct, it's a concept. It's not the same for everyone, which is something that you discuss in The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. And I really enjoy that part, by the way. So that's going to be all for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that you did not freak out with my descriptions of these books. But I mean, today has been hard, so I just needed to scream to the camera a bit. So yeah, just tell me down below if you want what books you read in February, and if you know any of the books that I've read, what books you're planning to read, you know, just conversations, talking with each other. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. So happy readings to you all. Bye-bye.